Hi friends, good evening. After a long time, I am again preparing some vegetarian food. So it's a totally corn soup. So you can say it's a sweet corn soup. And the main ingredients here are the corns. So it's the sweet corn that I had, and lots of mushrooms because the target is to make this whole solution, whole soup, as protein and vitamin rich. So mushroom is heavy on vitamin B, as well as there are some green vegetables like green beans, that is the French beans, and carrots. So I'm not going to make the process very complicated. And in the spice collection I am putting some ginger, and to make it sweet, it is the kero, or you can say it's a corn syrup. And finally, to thicken the gravy, I need to use this slight amount of cornstarch and mixed with some pepper, black pepper, crushed black pepper, or the black pepper powder. And finally, for the garnishing, I will use some Sichuan pepper. So this is the red variant of the Sichuan pepper that you can see. So it's normally not very available to the normal departmental stores or the normal shopping stores. So I ordered it from Amazon, and it gives a proper Sichuan flavor. And for any kind of Chinese flavored dish and Sichuan kind of dish, this is very authentic. And I need to crush it, and I need to use it in the crushed format. And at the end of the soup, means when I'll garnish and I'll present the soup on platter, I'll use that crushed form. It's very easy because it adds a very good texture to the white colored soup, nice white, and also it has a very tingling kind of taste. So it will give a tingling and twisting taste on your taste buds. That's it. Let us make it as thin as possible because my ginger is cut into very thin slices. Guys, I have accepted a challenge that which one is best, non-veg or veg, because I am a pure non-vegetarian. But these days I am experimenting with the veg foods, and the kind of foods that will completely raise your taste buds, and you will feel hungry to see these foods. And that is also very nutrition rich for your health, which is utmost necessary at this point of time, because we are getting the vaccines every day. Medical science is changing, the pattern of the diseases are getting changed. So we need to make our body fit first, then only we need to depend on the medicines, because no medicines are there which can protect you 100%, your alertness, your consciousness. And finally, how you are interacting with the environment, that is most important. And what kind of food and what kind of habits you are growing inside you, that is most important. Guys, I have completed my chopping of the carrot, and let us keep it in the bowl and then proceed for the chopping of the beans. Guys, this is not always true that the non-veg food you eat that gives you the highest level of protein. Over a period of time, if you start consuming vegetarian foods, that also gives equal amount of protein and sufficient vitamins to your body. So if you ask me personally, then I would tell the vegetarian foods are more balanced than the non-vegetarian foods, because there are some complicated processes associated with the digestion of the non-veg foods. In case of vegetables, if you go by the medical science, then a vegetable, if you consume any kind of raw form of meat or non-veg, that takes almost 72 to 80 hours to get digested. That means the most of the times that is dissipated inside your intestine, and that is in process, and there is a huge chance of getting affected by the bacteria. But in case of well cooked non-veg foods, still it takes 48 hours to 56 hours to complete the whole digestion process. In case of vegetables, cooked vegetables, it takes 15 to almost 12 to 15 hours to get digested. And if you take fruits, in that case it gives you highest level of vitamins in raw form, but at the same time it takes very little time to get digested. Means in case of fruits, it takes hardly 1 hour or 1 to 2 hours or 1 to 3 hours to get the whole things digested in your body. So body is more sensitive towards the non-veg foods, but if you have a very uh, good and healthy digestion system, and by default we Bengalis from our born itself we are habituated in the non-vegetarian foods, so it's not a problem for us because our body is habituated with that, consuming the non-veg foods. But in case of vegetarian foods or the vegetables, it is a wrong concept that the vegetarian foods won't give you the sufficient proteins and vitamins, and only from the non-veg you can get the sufficient proteins and proteins and fats to fight against all the diseases. It's not like that. It's all about your immunity, and immunity grows when you can digest a food properly. If you eat something which is not digestible, and you are eating very high protein rich and vitamin rich food, but you are not able to digest, then what is the meaning of that kind of food? So that is the whole thought process. So friends, you can see that some part of the corn I am taking for making a clear paste, which will make our corn soup and thicken the gravy. And there is a second amount of corn that will go as it is. So the whole thing will make the corn soup together. So it's not just the paste, it's not just the corn grains. So friends, my pan is sufficiently hot, so I'm putting slight amount of olive oil and 2 butter cubes. Friends, I'm putting my chopped ginger first, and I am adding my mushrooms. I am heating the mushrooms over high heat so that the watery part of the mushroom get vanish. So it's a soup with no onions, no garlic, only ginger I have used. Now let me add the salt. Let the mushroom release all its water and get thoroughly cooked. Stir well because mushroom has already started releasing its water. Friends, whenever you are making some soups or stew kind of things, you need to always keep in mind that all the vitamins and proteins and whatever the nutrients are there, you need to preserve everything inside this watery part. I'll add some chopped fresh basil from my garden. So that it can generate a nice leafy flavor. Not much, because if you put much basils then it will suppress the smell of the corns. So it is for the greeneries and green texture. Now friends, it's time to put the carrots, because carrots will take a longer time to get boiled properly. I'll add the beans later, because beans are very thinly chopped. So immediately if I add it, it will start melting, and after the soup is ready there will be no traces of beans and no greeneries in the soup. I can see that the carrots are tender as expected. Let me add the pepper powder. Be generous on this part, because pepper powder will bring a nice flavor to your whole soup. And now it's time to add the corn paste. Add sufficient amount of water. So initially I have kept the corn uh, paste, and later I will add the water in ample amount so that it becomes soupy, because it is almost thick now. Let me cover it for 5-10 minutes. So guys, it is almost thickened, and I can show you the consistency right here, because so far I have not added any cornstarch or corn flour, anything, just it is in the boiled form itself. Friends, I have added sufficient amount of water. So if you want the non-veg version of this same sweet corn soup, then what you can do, you can put some egg drops also. So egg drops, making the egg drops is very easy. So once you put the, just beat the eggs, and one or two, then continuously steer your solution like this in unidirection, and then slowly from the top just put the eggs and keep stirring, and it will form the structure of the texture of the egg drops, and it will look nice. But let us see that how much that egg drops and non-egg drop corn soups are differing, because I have tested both, I prepare both, but for the time being now I am concentrating more on the vegetarian foods. And let me come back to you with the most healthy vegetarian foods that is in my knowledge. And let me see if I can make a try to change the concept of the non-vegetarian people, that okay, uh, the non-vegetarian foods are superior than the vegetarian foods. Let us try to change that concept little bit. We should be respectful for all kinds of food if you are really claiming yourself as the foodie. So friends, it's boiling now. So let us put the corns in the raw form. Let it boil a little bit to preserve all its uh, nutritional values. And then finally I'm going to add my beans, keeping in focus that the beans should not uh, be faded after the preparation, but at the same time it should be boiled well, and all the nutrition goes into the soup. And now I'm going to add my kero, or the corn syrup, and slide vinegar to it to make it little shower, and vinegar, not much, just 1 to 2 tablespoons, just to make little shower taste. It's almost prepared, and the final thing is the basil. And once I put the heat down, I will add my cornstarch to make it more slurry. At this stage you can add oregano, thyme, parsley, anything, but don't try to put the corianders, because coriander has a very strong flavor, so it will entirely suppress the whole flavor of the corn soup. Let us cover it for 2-3 minutes more, and then we will add the we will stop the flame, and we will add the cornstarch. Otherwise, at this stage, if I add the cornstarch, it will tend to stick at the bottom of the soup. Guys, our finally our sweet corn soup is ready. Just look at the texture. Not any less than any Chinese restaurants, but the only difference is during this time of pandemic, I have showed you how to cook a healthy food and the homemade version of it. Nothing else is there. It's very simplest one. Eat this every day, and then come back with your comment that how you feel from your body and mind both eating the veg food. Just let me garnish it with some amount of pudina. Guys, our final presentation is done, and let me cover it from closure. So guys, you can see the final texture of the sweet corn soup, and let me cover it from all the sides. And the red texture is coming from the Sichuan pepper. Fortunately, I had it. Sometimes it is not available in the local groceries or even in Amazon, but keep finding, definitely you will get it. So you can see all the ingredients are showing its full life on plate. So you can easily imagine that if you are eating some living food, living vegetables, which has certain amount of energy in the form of life, what kind of uh, nutrition you are going to get from it, and what kind of energy levels you can reach to fight against all kind of viruses, all kind of diseases. So it will give you certain energy which you can easily use to make your body rich enough and strong enough to fight against all kind of diseases. So let us follow this practice of good practice of food habits on the vegetarian foods, and let us make it uh, as much as healthy and as much as nutrition rich, so that it can become equivalent of the non-veg food, and there should be no comparison at all that the non-veg food are best or the veg food are not good, or it is simply the ghas goose like that. So thank you guys for staying with me for this long time and watching this video from begin to end. And definitely I need your support in the terms of likes and share and subscribe. As much as you will subscribe to my channel, I will get more encouragement to prepare lots of contents like this, lots of researches on the foods, and finally show you the way how you can make yourself fit and make us build a society fit, and together we can fight against all kind of pandemics and all kind of evil situations, and let us hope for the best days to come. And good night, stay safe, stay home. We will overcome together as a family of Shan's Food Gallery. Thank you so much.